Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Imelda, Bernard's oldest. This is my husband David, who is most likely going to end up finishing my eulogy. So, first of all, I would like to thank all of you for being here. What a great honor, and we appreciate the strength and support that all of you have given us. And also, I would like to thank all of you who helped us put this memorial service together. Without your help, we wouldn't even know what to do. So, just to give you a little bit of background on Dad. Dad was born in a world and raised in a much different world and a much harsher world than the one that his kids and his grandchildren are provided with. He was born in a tiny village in the eastern part of an island called Java in Indonesia, called Sik. He was the fifth child of 7 siblings. By a young age, not only had he witnessed the atrocities against the Chinese Indonesians after World War II, but he endured the heartache of losing both his father and his only brother. He had to assume the burden of becoming the man of the household, and along with his mother and 4 sisters, they took over the family business. As the business grew and expanded, he moved to the much bigger city of Semarang, and eventually to the capital city of Indonesia, Jakarta. There, his late brother-in-law, my uncle, Jim T., introduced him to his future wife, my mom, Tina. Together, they had 3 daughters, myself, my sister Caroline, and my sister Irene. Eventually, the family, we lived in Jakarta, and we lived a very comfortable life in Jakarta. It's a life that was much improved compared to his upbringing. But that wasn't enough for Dad. Dad was always very driven, and he wanted to provide the best for his family. Discriminations against the Chinese was still widespread at that time, and he knew that his daughters would be limited in their educational and career opportunities. So at the age of 49, in 1979, he courageously moved his family to the United States. Through passion and hard work, he overcame language and cultural barriers, and with his wife working alongside him, he became successful at every business and investment venture he attempted. That also God blessed him with. Through his hard work, and also through God's blessings, he was able to provide the educational and career opportunities that he had longed for to provide for his 3 daughters. Over time, his family grew to include 3 additional sons, my husband David, Henry, and Andy. Yet his biggest prize that are yet to come. There is 5 grandchildren. Alex was his oldest, followed by Malia, Isaac, Sadie, and last but not least, our crazy little Silas. He loved those grandchildren with as much love as he gave his 3 daughters. For example, he went to watch this James Bond movie, I believe it was GoldenEye in 1996. He came out of there and bought himself a brand new ice blue convertible Z3. God, he cherished that car. It was his pride and joy. But strangely enough, he rarely drove it. He saved his mileage. By the time he stopped driving it, there were only 45,000 miles to this car. And when he stopped driving, we could not figure out why Dad would not sell this car. He kept this car in mint condition, and he kept it covered in the garage. Then his intention became clear. At Alex's 16th birthday, Dad handed him the car key and said, "Now it's your turn to take care of my car, and take good care of it." When he started to experience problems with walking and with his health, it was hard for him to get around. But when he saw his 3 grandkids, Isaac, Silas, and Sadie in the pool, splashing around, and they said, "Opa, Opa, come in with us." He came in. It was so hard for him to get into that pool, but he got in. He splashed around with them and made more memories for his two grandkids. Then there's Lilia's memories. She'll never forget the endless Japanese bread, shrimp chips, cookies, and biscuits that Opa always brings over. He brings it over to our house to satisfy her love of snacks. Kids, remember Opa juice? It's his concoction of guava juice and Sprite that he always makes for you guys. Together with Mom, he literally traveled around the world. By cruise, by land tours, and even helicopters, there are very few places in this world that those two have not been. They even have a certificate to prove that they were in Antarctica. Who goes to Antarctica? Food's another passion of his. He traveled near and far for food. He sampled every foreign delicacies offered to him. In fact, there was one trip to the LA Zoo with all his grandkids where he, I hope jokingly, I'm not sure if he wasn't joking or not, said that, "Look, I think I've sampled many of the animals in the zoo." He was an avid tennis player, and eventually, when he could not play tennis anymore, he was a competitive bridge player. We always teased Dad why he had so many girlfriends calling him to the house to invite him to be their bridge partners. But there's his passion for music. He made sure his three daughters were given piano lessons and the ability to read music. But Dad self-taught his way to play the organ, and he was actually pretty good at it. Then with the dawn of technology came his treasured items. His iPod and his little Bose speaker. As Mom says, day in and day out, he would play Bocelli, Doris Day, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and many other classics. It was only fitting that even in his last few days of life, all he wanted for us was to bring his items next to his hospital bed, and he played his music all day and all night. In Dad's own words, which he said in his hospital bed, "My story is not that of a rich man or an important figure of the world, just that of an honest, hard-working man from a small village." To that we added, a story of a man who did what he set out to do. He successfully placed his family in a much kinder and plentiful world than the one he was born into. In the words of Andrea Bocelli, is a beloved song artist, it is time to say goodbye to our beloved husband, father, grandfather, brother, uncle, and friend to all. We know that you are spending your days in heaven, eating, traveling, and listening to your beloved iPod day in, day out. Thank you all. Bye, Dad.